This is music, and this is another First Impressions video. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos, I normally share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. However, this is a VCLT follow-up video because I received an awesome VCLT that I was sent by none other than the mighty one, Metal Marty Mac, earlier this year. I finally had the time to listen to the CDs and the vinyl in the VCLT. But because of my wonky schedule, I've had to kind of shoot this video in smaller bits. So I will kind of stitch them together into hopefully a coherent video. Anyways, if you don't know Metal Marty Mac, it's a great channel here on YouTube. It's a vinyl community channel. And as you can perhaps gather from the name, he likes his metal, he likes his vinyl, his cassettes, and his CDs. Great vinyl community channel. He's also started a new channel called Marty and the Pillow Talkers with him and two mates, and they talk about movies. So check that one out too. Anyways, let's get down to business. Let's turn to those CDs, starting with an entire box set of Crematory CDs. I think it's the first 5 ones. And yeah, so it's 5 albums worth of music in these digi sleeves. I put some Nakaoka plastic sleeves, like inner sleeves, in the digi sleeves here to just protect the CDs. But yeah, so Crematory, it's one of those bands that helped me get into death metal. And whenever I tell people that, there's always someone that goes, "What? Crematory? They're not a death metal band. They're a Gothic metal band." But this album right here, Transmigration, I think it's their debut album. To me, it's a bona fide death metal album. It's an early 90s style death metal album. It has that guitar tone with that punch to it. It has a lot of fast, like old school death metal riffs and fast old school death metal parts. And you also have, like in a lot of early 90s, late 80s death metal, like almost thrashy parts as well. You have harsh guttural vocals. Yeah, it's a bona fide death metal album, and it's really good. Listening to this again for the first time in, I don't know, maybe 2 decades or something. Yes, I still understand why this is one of the albums that got me into death metal. Now, you do have keyboards on here. That was very unusual in death metal, but it works very well on this one. Obviously, it's the keyboards that kind of give this album a kind of a gothic feel. But I still think this is an amazing, fantastic, entertaining old school death metal album. It just has keyboards. Okay, next we got this one here, Just Dreaming. Now on this one, they lean more into the gothic side of things. The keyboards are more prominent. Um, you have more like maybe almost like Death Doom stuff going on. You still have harsh vocals, but also quite a lot of melody and even some like clean spoken word vocals. But I think this is still a very good album. It's a nice blend of gothic metal, a little bit of doom metal, a little bit of death metal. The production, I think, is still very good. The guitar tone is still quite strong and punchy on this one. So this is a very enjoyable album too, in my opinion. I like it. It's not all out death metal. Now this one here, Illusions. Now this is, yeah, not really a death metal album. You still have harsh vocals, but other than that, yeah, they lean into the gothic side of things. Now the keyboards are front and center. The guitars and the bass are almost more like support instruments. There's still some very cool things going on guitar-wise. Um, and some very cool things going on keyboards wise that I actually enjoyed much more than I expected. I think my favorite track is "and Other." You probably can't see that, but that's what it says. "And Other?" question mark. Uh, Mostly the vocals are harsh, but you have more like clean stuff and spoken word and all that stuff going on here. But this to me is so melodic that I think the harsh vocals, at least being the primary style of singing, uh, does the overall album kind of a disservice because this is so melodic that I think clean vocals would have added another interesting dimension of melody that would gel very well with all the other melodic stuff on here. But still, very enjoyable Gothic metal album. And I'm normally not really a fan of Gothic metal, but I like this. A lot of cool stuff going on here for sure. Then we have this one here, self-titled, also known as Das Deutsche Album, because they sing in German on this one. I think they are a German-speaking band, maybe from Germany, maybe Austria. I can't remember. But this one here, Gone, is pretty much everything that has anything to do with death metal, apart from the harsh vocals. But I think the harsh vocals are kind of weak on this one. Would have worked much better with clean singing, if I'm being honest. Um, the songs are mostly mid-tempo. The guitar work is not really that interesting, except in some places. Again, the keyboards are front and center, but I don't think they are as interesting on this one as they are on Illusions. So, yeah, this is an album that doesn't really interest me that much, at least not my first impressions. Um, Also, compared to the other albums I've shown, this artwork is kind of boring. So yeah, this is not great in my opinion. Not bad, but not great and not really my cup of tea. The last one in the box set is this one here, Awake. Similar style to Das Deutsche Album, but much better in my opinion. Um, the guitar work is at least a little bit more interesting. The keyboards are also a little bit more interesting. The vocals work better as well. And maybe I'm also kind of influenced by the artwork, which is actually pretty damn cool on this one too. But it is very similar in style to Das Deutsche Album or Das Deutsche Album, and yeah, it's gothic metal. It's definitely not as great to me as the three first ones were. And my favorite in the lot, that is this one here, the one that's more like old school death metal. But this is a really cool box set, and it's really interesting to just hear the evolution of a band, right? From harsh death metal to very melodic gothic metal. And actually, there were a lot of bands back in the day who kind of abandoned death metal and went in different directions. Some went in doom metal direction, some went in death and roll, and some went in a more gothic direction. And yeah, like I said, this one here, this one here, and this one here. I think they're all really good albums. This one, the first one is fantastic. This one is pretty damn great. The next one, and then the third one is actually pretty good too. Um, the two last ones, not that much my cup of tea, but I do like Awake better than Das Deutsche Album. So, really cool box set. Definitely an interesting listen, just so you can hear the evolution of a band. But also, yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic death metal album. To this day, having listened to it again for the first time in 2 decades or something like that, I can still understand why this helped me get into death metal back in the day. Okay, the next CD is this one here, and it's called Engineers of Transgression by, it says, Temer. But as far as I understand, in Irish Gaelic, it's Chower, something to that effect. It's not a language that I speak. This is really cool. This is kind of blackened death metal, somewhere in between death metal and black metal. You have a lot of like really atmospheric and melodic parts, and then you have some really, really kind of almost brutal sounding death metal stuff. The guitar tone, when things get heavy, is absolutely just pummeling. It's just a wall of guitar power, and it's great. And then you have like more like black metal style, like almost like inspired. It certainly sounds like by early '90s Norwegian black metal, like the tremolo picking and stuff. Um, and then the vocals are mostly like death metal growls. But this is great. Really enjoyed this one. Just a fantastic blend of death metal and black metal, and then some atmospheric and ambient elements too. It's a one-person project, and definitely there's some talent in that one person behind this. Fantastic stuff. Uh, if you and it's quite original, I would say. There's a lot of black and death metal out there, but this sounds original. Really good stuff. I enjoyed this. This is definitely worth checking out if you like your black metal and if you like your death metal. So there you go. That was the CDs. Now, through the magic of editing, let's have a look at the vinyl. Okay, on to the vinyl, starting with this one here. Hammer Cult Legends Never Die. It comes with a CD. That's very neat. This is thrash metal. You have a bunch of cover songs on side A, and I think side B, either it's cover songs that I don't know or it's original songs by Hammer Cult. I actually don't know, but I do know that this is a really awesome release. The cover versions are pretty cool. Uh, you got Fast as a Shark as an example, and The Ace of Spades, so some classics. And the songs on side B, which may be covers or maybe originals, are just awesome. They're super fast, thrashy songs. You know, given the cover artwork here, I would expect this to be kind of dirty, filthy speed metal. There is a little bit of that to it. The vocals are your kind of screechy, blackened speed vocals, but production is actually quite crisp and not as messy and sloppy as I thought it would be. Very, very tight production, very tight performance as well. Some really awesome thrash metal songs on side B and some great covers on side A. This is a really awesome release. Very, very enjoyable. I really like it. Next, a slight change of style. This one here, Tail Gunner, Guns for Hire. Um, cool picture disc, and it sounds really good actually. No surface noise or anything like that. So this is well, Tail Gunner. Obviously, they're inspired by Iron Maiden, and you can definitely hear a lot of Iron Maiden influence, twin guitars, some of the vocal melody lines and stuff. But there's also a lot of kind of power metal to this. Not too much, but just hints of power metal. So it is kind of traditional heavy metal, but not, I would say, new wave of traditional heavy metal, if you know what I mean. Again, some great songs on here, great catchy vocal lines, good vocals too, not Bruce Dickinson ripoff or anything like that at all. So that's something I appreciate. Um, really cool guitar solos, just great heavy metal songs, a really good release, very solid, very, very enjoyable too. And the last vinyl is this one here, Tantara, Sum of Forces. Also thrash metal, also very, very tight production and very tight riffing and tight performance, and just a super punchy guitar tone, fantastic guitar solos, very technical, very advanced, very melodic too, but never mindless shredding, and I appreciate that. Got some super solid riffs, at times a little bit of Anthraxy, at times a little bit of Testamenty. It's in that kind of vein. Um, Great stuff. Super awesome thrash metal release. This one has 6 songs on it, so it's an EP or maybe a mini album. Super awesome stuff. Very, very enjoyable too. So, three absolutely fantastic vinyl sent to me by the mighty one, Metal Marty Mac. And there you go. Go and check out the CDs and the vinyl, these albums basically, on your own. I liked them. Check them out. Go and check out Metal Marty Mac and Marty and the Pillow Talkers. For now, thanks for watching.